surcharge?
People had really bad reactions. They said, oh, we're not accepting surcharges, but you have to sell it. You have to deliver because we have a purchase order with you. And on line 37, it says we don't accept any tariff charges.
So Munson says he has a new strategy. He's simply charging his customers more for his products. No mention of tariffs.
We just have a new price that is based on our cost. Costs have gone up. Should costs go down, we'd be glad to reduce our price.
Munson says he doesn't have any other options. After all those layoffs, the company doesn't have much else to cut. I'm Justin Ho for Marketplace.
Coming up.
Finance-wise, right now, I'm definitely taking a gamble.
The post-grad gig economy. But first, let's do the numbers. Yeah, the Wawas. Things headed where you might expect today on Wall Street, given the president's moves on global trade and, oh, by the way, the firing of the messenger over that jobs report. The Dow Industrial's down 542 points, 1.2%, 43,588. That was not the low for the session. The Nasdaq stumbled 472 points, 2.2%, 20,650. The S&P 500 subtracted 101 points, 1.6%, 62 and 38. For the week, the Dow off 2.9%, the Nasdaq down 2.1%, S&P 500 declined 2.3%. Bond prices went up. The yield on the 10-year T-note down 4.20%. That's all about expectations of weaker economic growth. You're listening to Marketplace.
Marketplace is supported by LHH. LHH empowers professionals and organizations to achieve their ambitions and secure lasting impact through custom advisory services and talent solutions. LHH, a beautiful working world. Learn more at lhh.com/beautiful.
The world doesn't stop turning at the weekend.
The conflict erupted between rival military factions.
So this weekend, catch up with the latest global events with NewsHour from the BBC, bringing you news, reports and analysis from around the world.
This was a natural disaster, but enabled by the failings of government.
NewsHour from the BBC.
Saturday and Sunday afternoons at 4 on 93.9 FM, AM 820, or live stream it at wnyc.org.
WNYC support comes from Pine Street School in Lower Manhattan, accepting students from nursery through 8th grade, offering immersive Spanish or Mandarin and a global IB curriculum. Learn more at pinestreetschool.com.
You're listening to Marketplace on WNYC. In the 7 o'clock hour of All Things Considered, one topic dominated online conversation this week, the American Eagle jeans ad featuring actress Sydney Sweeney. We'll talk all about it at 7 o'clock. Stay with us.
This is Marketplace. I'm Kai Rizdal. If you're going grocery shopping this weekend, keep your eye out for digital price labels. That is to say, labels on which prices can be changed easily and frequently with the mere tap of a keyboard. Walmart, for instance, has them in nearly 10% of its stores, working its way up to half of them soon. The United States, though, is kind of behind the curve on this compared to some grocers over in Europe. Jennifer Williams wrote about digital labels in the Wall Street Journal the other day, how stores are using them now, and how they might use them here. Jennifer, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
So I love this piece because it's so behavioral economics, but we'll get there. The first thing I want you to do, though, is tell me how these stores in places like Norway and the Netherlands are using these electronic labels sort of day to day.
Yeah, so European grocery stores have been using electronic shelf labels for years. And in Norway, for instance, at Rema 1000 grocery stores, prices can change up to 100 times a day, more during the holidays, with just touch of a button to match their competition. They always want to match their competition or be lower in price. And so for the consumer, if you're shopping for eggs or milk, for instance, and you see one price, it could change by the time that you're checking out, but it would only be lower.
Right.
And
Sorry, go ahead. Keep going.
And then at Albert Heijn, they change prices less frequently, as much as 4 times a day for any one item, and they are doing it to reduce food waste. So it has to do with items that are about to expire on any given day.
Right. So, and this is where it gets so interesting because, as you said, usually these stores are lowering prices. My gut when I read this piece was, oh man, they're going to be jacking up prices because they're going to know that they've sold, 14 pints of milk and the 15th is going to cost a dime more or whatever it is. But in practice, that is not what happens.
That isn't what happens. That is the fear. Consumers worry about this. Lawmakers in the U.S. and in Europe worry about this, and they have pressed the stores to ensure that they are not going to do some kind of like Uber-style surge pricing.
Right. So by the time I get back from the bread aisle, the milk is more expensive, right?
Yeah. And I talked to some researchers who have studied these labels and what grocery stores are doing with them, and they don't find any evidence of surge-style pricing. And the reason, or a main reason for that, is we have so many options for groceries. If my experience at one particular store is by the time I check out, the cost of the things in my cart have gone up, I'm just going to go to another grocery store. And the chains know that this is the dynamic, and they don't want to risk losing that customer.
Right. Of course, we should say prices do go up. They just raise the prices on these electronic labels when the consumers aren't in the store, right? They do it overnight.
Yes. Yeah. So I talked to Remo 1000, for instance, about this. They do sometimes raise prices after a period of lowering them, but the customer doesn't see that. It happens overnight.
There was also the interesting thing about that Belgian and Netherlands company about reducing food waste that you mentioned. Items that are expiring, they'll lower the prices on those too, and do it, not infrequently.
Right. Yeah. So let's say you're at a shelf where there are blueberries expiring in 3 days and blueberries expiring today. They'll start with a discount of 25% for the ones expiring today. And then as needed, they'll go up to 40%, 70%, and then finally 90% for the expiring fruit versus the one that will last a few days longer. And they've reduced, they say, 250,000 kilograms of food waste, which is about 550,000 pounds by doing this.
I'll take the expiring blueberries. I'll pass on the expiring chicken, though. That's the one that always gets me. You can't discount that stuff enough. So look, just to wrap it up, fears of being exploited, perhaps overblown?
So far, it's not showing up. In the U.S., we're starting to see more of the electronic and digital shelf labels like Walmart, Kroger, Whole Foods. They're starting to roll them out. The ones that I talk to, like Lidl US, they say they have no plans for surge-style pricing. So for now, it may be overblown.
No plans is doing a lot of work there, though, right?
Yeah, right.
Jennifer Williams at the Wall Street Journal. Jennifer, thanks a lot. Good to talk to you again.
Thanks for having me.
We started the program today with the macro story on the U.S. labor market. We're going to bookend it with a micro story on labor. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York says unemployment for younger workers, people 20 to 27 specifically, is up since the beginning of the year, including for recent college graduates. That was our call. That was our cue to call Tony Swinner. We've been talking to him since he graduated in 2023, and a little bit more than a year ago, he made the move from Ohio to Los Angeles to try to make a go of it in entertainment.
The first year went about as well as I think I could have hoped for, since I'm still out here. And when I originally moved, it was on like a 6-month lease of sort of like, we'll try this and see what happens. And since I'm still out here, I'm really enjoying it. Like 11, 12 months ago, I still hadn't worked in entertainment. I had just gotten back on with the Lego store, which is the job that I had right out of college. And then it quite literally changed in an instant because one of my good friends out here now, she texted me just out of the blue, basically being like, hey, do you want to come work for me for a couple of days? And I said, oh my God, money, yes. And she said, lesson 1, always ask the rate first. That production gig, it was for 2 days at first, and then 2 days became 3 days became 4, and then eventually they just booked me for the entire season. Finance-wise, right now, I'm definitely taking a gamble. I'm quitting the Lego store because I'm getting a little bit more opportunities in the production world, and like one day of these like production day rates, 12-hour days, is more than I make in a week at Lego. And so if I can open myself up to more of those opportunities, even if it is a bit more of a gamble, I feel like it's a good trade-off to make myself be able to commit, then have to say no, which I have before because like I couldn't shake a shift in Lego, or I'd already used up my sick time. The biggest challenge right now is that finding gigs. I have like one lined up right now in the middle of August. I'm somebody who likes having stuff planned out that I can be like, oh, I know what I have each week and each day. And the entertainment world as it stands right now is very seat of your pants. The job market still feels that same sense of daunting that it did when I graduated. I feel better about it simply being here than I did in Ohio, because I kind of got to that point where that realization of sending in applications, that took so much time and it never got me anywhere so much as simply meeting people did out here. It feels better simply being here because truly everyone's in the same boat. And if all else fails, honestly, my manager was super nice at Lego. They said, you know, do you ever need extra cash? Come back. We love you. And I said, thank you so much.
Troy Swinner making his way in LA.
Marketplace is supported by Mercury. Mercury offers banking and financial software to help businesses send money, create invoices, pay bills, and more, all in one place. Learn more at Mercury.com.
This final note on the way out today. I said on this program back in February that the institutions of this democracy, upon which the institutions of this economy and the fortunes of all of us in it depend, were under threat. It is very tough to read today's developments as anything but another dangerous step down that road. One more thing, actually, totally different subject. Today makes it 20 years to the day that I've been hosting this program. And I just want to say thanks for coming along. Our theme music was composed by B.J. Liederman. Marketplace's executive producer is Nancy Fargali. Joanne Griffith is the chief content officer. Neil Scarborough is the vice president and general manager. And I'm Conrad Rizdal. Have yourselves a great weekend, everybody. We will see you again on Monday. This is APM.